I don't know. I believe him when I've talked to him about it. And I remember even before he fought his last fight, he was saying, I want that guy. I want Khamzat. I want the guy that people think is the scary guy.
Respect that. So not everyone saying that, you know. So a lot of guys was running away from me.
Dricus Du Plessis has a message for Khamzat Chimaev, and it isn't soft or polite. He says the fight will not be slow or safe. It will be pressure against pressure from the first second, like two trains on the same track. At the same time, Ilia Topuria, a current UFC champion and one of Khamzat's closest training partners, shows up during fight week. He doesn't come to make noise. He comes to sharpen the blade. These two stories, Dricus warning Khamzat and Ilia standing beside him, start to pull us into one question. What happens when unstoppable force meets someone who loves that kind of storm? If you care about power, pace, and pride, you can feel the tension building already. There's no hiding in a cage. When the door shuts, truth shows up fast. Every breath matters.
My prisoner of the moment, I feel like DDP Khamzat is one of the greatest middleweight competitions to ever happen in the UFC.
Every step matters, and this time, every word leading to the fight feels like a match near dry wood. All of it points back to that collision we're all waiting to see. Strickland doesn't whisper. He never has. He speaks in clear, sharp lines, and this time he points straight at Dricus Du Plessis and says, pay attention. Many fans call Khamzat the favorite. Many believe the belt changes hands. Strickland isn't buying it. He says Dricus is a real danger because of how he moves, how he hits, and how he refuses to slow down when the room gets hot. In his view, Khamzat's wrestling is scary early, but Dricus has cleaner stand-up and great survival instincts. He adds something bolder. If the fight goes long, Khamzat could crack under steady pressure.
De Renner has trained with both of them. He said there's going to be an early storm by Chimaev, but he believes Dricus can sustain the storm, and each passing minute favors Dricus. Now, what he's talking about is conditioning.
That's not a soft claim. That's a line in the sand. Strickland has built a career on pushing back against hype and looking for weak spots that others miss. He is not saying Khamzat isn't elite. He is saying this matchup is tricky, maybe trickier than people want to admit. He frames it as a clash of wills as much as a clash of skills, and that's where experience and inside knowledge color the picture even more. Here's why his words land. Strickland fought Dricus twice. He also trained with Khamzat. That puts him in a small group of people who know how both men feel in the clinch, on the fence, and in deep rounds. He says Dricus keeps a stubborn rhythm that is hard to read. The punches look simple, but the timing is odd, and he doesn't fold when he gets clipped. He keeps coming. With Khamzat, Strickland points to insane drive and a chain of takedowns that most people break under. He respects it, but he also calls Khamzat a bully type, not in a schoolyard way, but in a fight way. Someone who wants to set a mean tone and make you accept it.
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
If you push back without blinking, he believes things can change. Maybe not right away, but inside the steady grind of a fight. That kind of talk turns the mental game into a headline. If Dricus can stand his ground and make Khamzat deal with real resistance, the big question becomes simple. Who can force that moment and hold it without getting drowned first? Fights are physical, but they're also tests of nerve. Some athletes win with skill, others win with belief. Dricus lives in chaos and seems comfortable there. He will bite down, swing, shoot, and scramble until the horn. Khamzat writes his story with speed and pressure. He runs across the cage, grabs the body, and tries to make people panic. That works on many.
Dana White confirms Khamzat Chimaev is next.
Dricus Khamzat is a pretty big fight that you guys can put on right now.
Yeah, I would give DDP the advantage over Khamzat right now.
Styles make fights, and you never seen Dricus fight. Good wrestler, and Khamzat's one of the best.
But does it work on someone who likes the fire? That's the thread running through every preview. If Dricus stays in Khamzat's face, if he lands enough to slow the entries, the rhythm could change. If he gets stuck early, the ground could feel like quicksand. Both outcomes feel close enough to touch. That's why fans argue. That's why a small detail like a stiff jab or a strong underhook could swing 5 minutes and then swing the whole night. If the early storm passes and the heart checks start, that's where things get real. And that's where this fight might flip. This is where Ilia Topuria enters. He isn't in Khamzat's corner on fight night, but he arrives during the hardest stretch. Travel, media, and the final weight cut. Those days are tricky. You're hungry, you're dry, your phone won't stop buzzing. A trusted friend can settle the mind. Ilia and Khamzat share roots at the All-Stars gym in Sweden. They've traded hard rounds and built respect.
someone else who calls the shots and gets them done. When you think of where mixed martial
arts... That's why he's the man. He's a savage. He calls his shots, he finishes his opponents. When he goes inside the octagon, you know that that guy goes for the finish. He's not looking for the decision. That's why I respect Khamzat. He's a beast.
When Ilia shows up, it sends a simple message. You're not alone in this. People who don't fight sometimes miss how much the room matters. When the people beside you expect honesty and effort, you give both. When a champion walks in and nods, you feel it. Weight cuts are not just about numbers. They're about mood and focus. If your mind drifts, your body follows. If your mind locks in, your body usually does the same. You can lift more when someone you trust says, keep going. That kind of steady push can turn a hard week into a strong one. Caio Borralho crossed paths with the group and came away impressed. He said Ilia greeted people, took pictures, and brought a calm, hard-working energy. He also saw Khamzat getting his last rounds in, focused and sharp. It wasn't wild. It was ordered, like a team that knows what it needs. That's important. A good room keeps you honest.
I think you guys can expect me to get my hand raised, and that's about it.
And that'll be 8 wins in a row, and then you can sit back and watch the title fight play out between DDP and Khamzat Chimaev. Who do you think wins that fight, by the way?
I think DDP is going to surprise the world, man.
It tells you the truth. It also builds belief. When you look around and see people who are chasing the same level, you start to match that pace. That is how champions can help champion. They normalize hard work. They make it look regular. By the time fight week hits full speed, nerves sit on the skin. It doesn't take much to tilt you off or bring you back. A clean drill, a short talk, a reminder to breathe and drink. You don't need big speeches. You need simple things done well. Little moments like that can tip a mood. A smile, a nod, a fast drill done right, those details build quiet momentum before a war. Merab Dvalishvili, the bantamweight champion known for endless pace, is cornering his friend and countryman Roman Dolidze. Roman headlines a middleweight card against a strong, surging opponent.
Khamzat is an incredible fighter, but you're fighting in the top 5 of the UFC. Everybody's incredible fighters. He has this one thing that works for him, and it's been good, but Khamzat is an absolute animal, absolutely. But I mean, you look at the Gilbert Burns fight, which you could have scored either way.
Having a champion in your ear between rounds can be huge. Merab knows how to break people with cardio, spot tiny mistakes, and keep a fighter's mind clear. Roman says he's thankful for the support, but reminds everyone he doesn't need another man's success to feel strong. He's there to do his own job and chase his own goals. That confidence matters. The corner can guide, but the fighter must walk forward. When a champion speaks and a main eventer listens, the words land with a weight you can't fake. They also carry a reminder, this sport is a team of individuals. You step in alone, but you don't get ready alone. The work is shared, the outcome is yours. Pride matters on nights like that. When the flag is on your back, your lungs find a little more air, and your legs give a little more. It's not just a one-time moment for Georgia, it's a pattern. The country's fighters carry a style that mixes wrestling, pressure, and stubborn spirit. They chase every scramble. They bite on every chance. Merab shows that with his motor that never dips. Roman brings size and power to the same mindset. When champions show up for their friends, it sends a message to the room. We're building something that lasts. Even if you don't follow the flag, you can feel what it does when that backing is in the room. It builds a sense that the work matters beyond one night. It builds habits. It sets a standard. In a sport that can be lonely, that kind of shared push can be the difference between a flat step and a sharp one, between holding position and breaking it. You stand taller. You answer the bell faster. You remember why you started, and that memory can carry you through the hardest minute. Sean Brady isn't loud by nature, but lately he's speaking with more punch. He says the UFC sent him an offer for a big fight, and the venue is already chosen. Now he's waiting on the other side to sign. He's coming off the biggest win of his life, a submission of a former champion, and that gave him a surge of belief. Fans saw tighter striking, slick grappling, and poise in tough spots. He's sitting near the top of the rankings, and every matchup around him feels like a title eliminator. People guess at names, but Brady just smiles and keeps training. That's smart. You don't promise what you can't control. You prepare, you stay ready for the call. A streak builds like a snowball. It looks small at first, then heavy, then hard to stop. If the contract gets signed, we'll learn the name soon enough. Until then, the message is clear. A new problem is rising at welterweight, and he seems calm about walking into bigger and bigger rooms, choosing to step forward into the storm on purpose, not by accident. Dricus Du Plessis says he won't back up. He won't wait. He plans to step forward and attack, even if Khamzat changes levels for the legs. He points to a simple map. Gilbert Burns pulled Khamzat into a wild punch trade and found real success. Later, Kamaru Usman didn't just defend. He used his own offense and forced Khamzat to think. Those fights show pieces of a plan. Dricus wants to use them, but with his own twist move first, hit hard, and make Khamzat react. If you only defend, you get walked down. If you make the other guy answer questions, you buy time and space. Dricus has a strange rhythm that can mess with timing. He dips and fires from angles that don't look perfect, but they land. Add his chin and his gas tank, and you see why he believes. He doesn't want a slow chess match. He wants a fast one with real risk. He wants to be the storm, not the sandbag. If he holds that line, the crowd will feel it, and the pace could spike like a fire. If Khamzat wins the belt, the next move could light a fuse. A long-running rivalry with Paulo Costa has been waiting in the wings. They had a heated moment years back at a training center. Words flew. People stepped between them. The matchup was booked once, then fell apart when Costa got hurt. Since then, the talk never stopped. Costa has star power and a style built for big nights. If he keeps winning, the path toward a title shot opens fast. From a business angle, it's an easy sell. 2 big frames, 2 strong chins, and a long memory. There are other names in the mix, sure, but few bring the same spotlight. That matters to the people who make the posters and set the lights. It also matters to fans who buy tickets to feel something heavy in the air. Fights are stories, and some stories ask to be told. If Khamzat walks out with gold, the next chapter could be loud, fast, and a little unhinged, with a challenger who loves to sprint at walls and break them.